It's the Daylight Midnight Show.
Hello and welcome. The first thing I'm going to say this week is I'm really regretting doing this am I going to be clean shaven or not thing with the rotating randomness of the coloured cube, because I think this looks awful. I have to say, I haven't been clean shaven for about 6 months. It feels lovely, but I think it looks awful. So I'm regretting doing that, but that's what was dictated that I had to look like this week. So here I am. And let's leave that there. The other thing I have to tell you is there's been a slight change of plan at the last minute about what was going to be in this show. This was going to be like a notes from the phone special. So you know I've been carrying my phone around with me and I have this notes app on there, and as I think of things or observe things, I'm writing them down on there that I can then speak to you about on the Friday. And there's quite a few in that file now, so I thought today's the day we'll clear that out. And then just as we were setting up, I realised I didn't stay here last night, and I've left my phone at the place where I did stay, which is going to cause me all sorts of problems later today, and it also means this show went a bit kaput. So I've had to write down a few hastily written notes of what I can remember, but a lot of the stories that were on my phone that I was going to share with you, I'm going to save. So I've written down the fork story here that I teased a couple of weeks ago, but I'm not going to tell that because I want to give it its full body and give you all the details, and I can't do that because I haven't got the notes on my phone. So one story that I have remembered though, that I am going to tell you that I was going to do, it's going to be like a little quiz question. We're going to do a little guess the song thing here. So a couple of weeks ago when it was really hot weather, I went to a little bit of river nearby that I really like to go and sit by, because a lot of people spend time near the river, a lot of people swim in the river near where I live, and places get very busy because, of course, as soon as someone finds a nice spot, it's online and everybody knows about it. So there's this nice secluded spot where I can go and sit, and I sat there with a book, only saw a couple of people. But as I arrived and pulled up on the side of the road, another car pulled up alongside me. And the driver was probably 22, maybe 23, and driving what we used to call a boy racer car. So it was a small car, but it had been souped up with big wheels and spoilers and stripes all over it and tinted windows and everything. And he was doing that thing that boys of that age, or some boys of that age do, of the window was rolled down, the arm was out, the sunglasses were on, the baseball cap was backwards, and he was bobbing along to this song. And as I don't know if he recognised me, or thought he recognised me, or mistook me for a friend of his, or whether he just did this for a laugh, but he stopped his car right beside mine, looked at me out of the window, and was just going in time to the music, and then he roared off when he realised I wasn't who he thought I was. And it made my day. I went, nice mate, as he drove off. And the reason it made my day is because the song he was listening to is not the sort of song you would expect in that circumstance. So you might think he was listening to Eminem or Slipknot, something like that, but he wasn't. So have a little think, and I'll give you till the end of the show to work out what it might be. Have a little guess with yourself, and if you get the answer right, you can award yourself a prize from your own cupboards at home. So think about that. Boy racer, bopping along, head going, but an unusual song to be going to in that circumstance, and I'll let you know what it is at the end of the week. So let's crack on then with, am I feeling fragile or am I feeling agile? To give you a clue of what kind of show it's going to be. And bearing in mind I've forgotten my phone already, that's not a great start, but I am going to say that I'm feeling quite agile. Physically especially. I saw a different doctor this week and I've got some extra help with my back. And right now things are feeling really good and really positive. So I'm feeling very agile. Let's do Snake of the Week then. Now every week I'm going to have a go at drawing a snake, and hopefully, well, originally the hope was that these would get better and better as the weeks went on. But I'm kind of rushing it. I thought I would be able to dedicate some time to it, and I haven't done that yet. So let's remove last week's, which is actually 2 weeks old now for reasons that I'm not going to go into. And here is this week's Snake of the Week, which I'm a bit undecided about, to be honest. I feel like I should be giving these guys names. Now, when I first finished this, I was just almost full of rage for myself. I thought it was absolutely awful. But going back to it now, I don't think it's as bad as I first thought. It's slightly cartoonish, I'll grant you, but I like the colour scheme, and I think the face is quite cute. I mean, you'd never have an animal with eyes sticking out on its head like that, but I'm not, I mean, I certainly think it's better than last week's monstrosity. So yeah, I think maybe, I thought I was going to try and do much better snakes and more realistic snakes with lots of sort of details in the scales. But as things are going on, I think maybe the cartoonish ones are the ways for me to go. And I might even start doing, how about this for a thought that's just come to me? You know those, what do you call them, those little flip drawings that you do where you have a notepad and you draw on each corner, on each page, and it changes slightly. So if you flick it at the right speed, it looks like they move. I wonder whether I could do that with these. So instead of seeing an evolution of my ability as an artist, you would see the journey of the snake as it moves around the door. And if I was clever, I could position them around at different times and then do some kind of stop motion thing so it looks like the snake is moving. I fear I've moved into a sphere of animation that I'm not skilled at. If I had the idea that I could pass on to someone else, that would be great. I can't do that myself, so let's let that one go. So a lot of ideas could just be let go, and that is one of them. So that's Snake of the Week. Now everything else was written down on the phone. So I guess we go around to our food test, our taste test of the week, as dictated by the Colander of Culinary Chance last week. So I've got 30 ingredients written down on paper. I drop them in a colander and pick 3 out at random, and I have to eat those 3 live on the show the next week. So let's get on with that now. And I have to say to you, I'm really not looking forward to this. And I don't mean that in the sort of point of view of what a producer would get you to say on a show, which is make it sound like you're not looking forward to it and it'll give it more, you know, more zap. I'm really not looking forward to this because some of the ingredients I put on the list were ones that I knew I wouldn't like, one of which was crab sticks. And what came out last week was crab sticks, cold rice and honey. So if I tilt our camera down so you can see what I'm about to do, I mean, this is a worrying thing for a start. They're not called crab sticks, it's a jumbo seafood stick. I don't want to know what's in this at all. I've got the cold rice. This is microwave pilo rice that I cooked yesterday, which looks awful. I mean, some rice when it's cold is okay. And I bought some nice honey this morning. My temptation is to slather it in honey to disguise the taste, but that's not fair. I'm worried about what the smell is going to be like, but oh, how do you even get into these things? Someone might need to get me some scissors. I mean, when it's called, what is in this? Do I want to know? Surimi fish protein stick with added water and starch. It has Alaskan pollock and or hake. So they're not even telling you what it is. I mean, my stomach is churning already. This is great preparation, isn't it? I should have this ready beforehand. However, I think the smell of fish sticks in the house would not be good for me. Oh, I've got a feeling this is going to be rubbery. I mean, how does anyone find that appetizing? Right, okay, I want to eat a good bit, but oh, I mean, what, oh, I just can't describe to you how horrible that feels. Right, so I tell you what, let's be sensible about this. That goes on there. Let's put lots of rice on there because it has to be a decent amount. Oh dear, my fingers are so slimy already. And let's give it a nice dollop of honey, but not enough to completely disguise the taste of everything. Oh, right. Everything next week is going to stink of crab sticks that aren't really crab sticks. So you've seen me prepare it. Here we go. Oh, I'm just not looking forward to this at all, but okay. I have to swallow it or it doesn't count. I'm sorry for the silence, but I'm just dealing with a few traumas here. I actually think the worst part of it might be the texture of the cold rice. Okay. Most of that is gone. Oh. Now I consider myself to be quite a good actor. None of that reaction was acting. That was genuine. Whatever you've just seen on my face and body was genuinely what my response was to that. I don't even know how to start describing that. The seafood stick is like chewing an old bit of rubber. The cold rice, maybe my fridge is too cold, was almost frozen. And the honey, I thought would disguise some of the taste, just added this horrible, sickly sweet texture to it as well. That was a definite no. I think we're making these a yes column and a no column. That is firmly in the no column. And I now want to eat something very tasty, drink something to get rid of the taste, and never touch that ever again. Right, so let's find out. that stuff is, I'm wondering whether I'll quickly wash my fingers off camera to get rid of that. Otherwise, everything next week is going to smell of it. Now, let's just go for it. So, these are the 32 ingredients. They get tossed into the colander. Wow, it's amazing how sometimes eating something can completely take you out of the moment and lose your professionalism. That was a really horrible experience. But that's the whole point of this. You don't know what you're going to get. Some of them might be winners, some of them won't be. I pull out 3 at random, and whatever these are, I have to eat together next week. So, no, it's I can't remember now how many thousands different combinations there are. So next week it'll be crackers, which is our first repeat ingredient because we had crackers the first week. Isn't that weird how that can happen? Right, let's have a look at this. We will also be having an onion brackets pickled, and alongside all that, we will finish that off with whatever this is. How can that happen when there's 32 and I've pulled out my least favourite 2 weeks running? Actually, my least favourite would be tin tuna, which I hope we never get to. So next week, it'll be more of this monstrosity with pickled onions on crackers. If you want to watch a man suffer through the hell of eating something he really finds repulsive, do please join me next week. And it'll be a notes from the phone thing, unless I leave my phone somewhere else, or I leave the camera somewhere else, or I forget to turn up completely, which is always likely. So thank you for that. I'll see you next week. Have a great 7 days. Right, where's that pan au raisin? Hello again, and in all that excitement and vomit-inducing horror of what I put in my mouth, we forgot to do this. So will my facial hair be left, shaved or trimmed next week? Black or yellow means I will leave it growing. Orange or red, I will shave it off. Green or blue, it will be nicely trimmed. And we do that, and we do that, and we do that, and it is red. So next week, I will shave again. Damn it. See you next week. Have a great 7 days.